Good morning. Welcome to Nar Shalom in Jerusalem. We've been learning in Torah 101 and Likutei Moharan, Rabbi Nachman, a very important foundation idea in spirituality, especially Jewish spirituality, but it's true everywhere. Once something's true, it's true everywhere. And there are two collections of faces that make up the energy fields that engage a human being. They're called Nehorim, Panim Nehorim, and Panim Hashuchim. The light faces and the dark faces. And they correspond to the positive traits and the positive qualities and desires of a person, and the negative traits and the negative desires in a person. And these two are always like two types of water and oil pushing against each other. They're never going to be at peace. Understand that. And this is part of the whole existential strife that we suffer, this friction in our mind between the good and the evil, the light and the dark. Sounds like a cliche? It's not. It's the way we're built. And we're lucky that we're built this way because we have a chance to win the battle of the good over the evil, the light over the dark. And here in the end of the Torah, Rabbi Nachman teaches us how. That through the Torah, by learning Torah, you bring in Chokhmah, Bina, Vadat, Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferet. They bring in the upper sphirot of the soul, the upper power centers of the soul, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, which is awareness. Not just dry knowledge on a book, but the knowledge of perception in reality. And those three powers go from the brain into the traits of the soul, the emotional attributes, the qualities of our feelings, and they transform them. And they lift them up or drop them down depending on our attitude. So if we have a good attitude, we purify ourselves. And if we have a bad attitude, then we make our traits worse than they already were before. Okay, so these bright lights of the face and the dark lights of the face, you can see it on anybody. You walk on the street, you can see a person who's bright, and you can see the person who's dark, who's having a bad day or a bad life. It just depends on what's going on with them. But the point is that when we learn Torah, we bring in the light of the face that enters into the heart, and it transforms the heart and makes us more purified beings. And if you do it a whole lifetime, you're going to be a human angel. You're going to be a righteous person that other people come to for your light. And why not? Why shouldn't you? Because your light is God's light. We're part of an interactive, integrative system of souls. Okay, so, and what he tells us over here, and near the end of the Torah, that these powers of the mind are correspondent to the two friends. They're called two friends that never separate. Your right brain and your left brain never separate, because if they do, there's no more person. That's your consciousness. And those two friends that never separate are constantly getting fed by the Torah, and then they unify, and then they drop a drop of das, right, of knowledge, of understanding and wisdom together become knowledge, and that knowledge goes into your heart, and suddenly your heart opens, and you feel good, and you have a broad, expansive view of life. Even if it only lasts for 5 minutes, it'll change your day. And it can last for a long time. The more you build it, work it. So what he tells us over here is very important. And this is the catch. The negative forces that come to throw us down, to eat away our good feeling, our expanded consciousness, the obstacles, the negativity that we experience everywhere around us, all that negativity actually can be turned, the enemies of negativity can be turned into the entities that actually feed the faces of the light to consume the faces of darkness. Now, what do we mean here? Well, he tells us that as King David says in Tehillim, "B'karov alai mere'im le'echol basari," a famous verse. You see it in English, you see it everywhere in the world of Bible literature. close to me are the friends that want to consume me. Now, this is King David's ultimate paradox. My own friends want to consume me. They want to eat my food, and they want to eat my money, and they want to eat my life, and they want to eat my reputation, and they want to ruin a person. And when King David said this, he has the proof in the Bible, because we see that all the kinds of people that were close to the kingship and close to the seat of power in Jerusalem actually turned against him in a certain part of his career. So he said, the people that are close to me want to eat my flesh. And then Rabbi Nachman comes along and tells you those close people, those ra'im is the word for friends, but if you say it a different way, it's ra'im, it's the enemy, the evil ones want to eat my flesh. And he says, but those evil ones, actually what they do, they are channeling the power of the Torah comes in and transform them to eat our negative traits. They eat our negative thoughts. That when we, it's not just that you're sitting learning a book called the Torah. You're learning the words of God that came into all the different prophets, and they're coming into you, and they're carrying their power. So their power is to consume the evil. It's not just you're getting new ideas from a book. You're getting new power to consume the negative. And that's why you sit down. You can sit down with the book and feel in a bad mood and open up and learn and read something new. And 5 minutes later, you feel good because the positive light consumed the negative. See how the sun's getting brighter here, and I'm getting blinded by the light. Okay? And so we see that Rabbi Nachman turns the whole thing around for us and teaches us that those negative forces are actually going to be transformed into, like, little bottom feeders that are going to eat all the waste and all the negativity from our souls. And we're going to be left with the pure faces of light that shine with the great traits that the Torah gives us of patience, humility, understanding, love, balance, the proper amount of strength, splendor, grace, loyalty. All these qualities are already in us. We just need to reveal them by removing the shells, removing the negativities, removing the attitudes that we picked up through a journey that wasn't so nice along the way. So open the book, open the Torah, and he tells us when you do that, the negative forces fall away on their own, and the negative desires as well. You'll find that when you wanted something that wasn't good for you, and you open the book and you start to learn about the stories of the great people of the past and their challenges, suddenly our desires for things that aren't good for us, they seem very small and they fall away. And now I have a new desire. I want to go in this way, the way of holy, the way of the true, of the wholesome, of the good. And I don't allow the negative voices in this world to enter in, and I ignore them. When the negative forces come and tell you, what are you, crazy? The religious people are crazy, and the Torah is too old, and it's from another era, and it's ancient. No, it's for today more than ever. And all the prophecies have already been written about what's going on today. And if you know where to look, and you just type it into your Google, and you'll find all kinds of people that will tell you about the prophecies that were said 3,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago, that they're happening now between the nations of Israel and the nations of the Arab peoples, between the Western world and the Eastern world, between the North and the South. It's all happening, and it's in that book, because these are the words of God's speech, and God's speech carries with it the totality of his being are in those words. So you get the whole mother load. You get the mainframe when you get into the little pure moments of truth in the Torah. It opens up the whole mainframe when your mind is ready to process it. So I want to bless you all with a good week, with a week of feeding your mind with the good thoughts, with the good Torahs, with the good ideas. And if you see something you don't understand or you don't like, okay, put it on the side. You can write me about it, Rabbi Ramshir at Gmail. You can talk to your friends. You can talk to another teacher. It doesn't matter. You have to get it out, though. You can't hold things inside and expect that you're going to just flow with the light. We have to get rid of the negative forces. So when we're honest and we see that, wow, I've got some issues here, these people keep pushing my buttons, it's not about the people, it's about the buttons. And when I cleanse myself and remove and release all the negativity, the judgments, the anger, the strictness, what happens is we become free beings in a different world. And that's the world we're trying to create, and are creating, and will create, and will complete, and will be victorious over evil, because the dark faces one day will fuel the faces of the light. Have a great day, great week. We'll see you again.